predator for a neighbor. Look, I'm having a late night. I was just tidying up. I've just cleaned up some stuff and I'm making my bed. I was going to shower just now. If you put this video through an audio, you will hear Subir. He's whispering through the wall. I'm so disgusted by this man. When I came to England, I had Asian friends. None of them warned me that when they go a bit old, I became a nurse at some point. I worked in accounting, admin. I worked in various offices with them, with people of all races. I never faced such things. People were not trying to touch me up in their offices. I met many upstanding members of the community. Some of them even tried to educate. Some of them were conferred notes. I also talked about me being a Christian. Some of them were quite passionate about the Islamic faith. Okay, that's irrelevant though, because Subir has confessed he's not a Muslim, he's a radicalist. In between these whispers, you will even hear him say, why is she giving me up now? As if we've got some sort of agreement. On the 17th of October, maybe around midnight, 1 a.m., Helen Mashonganyika suggested that he might rape me. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to pick her up, throw her on my shoulder and rape her. The next night, he decided, I'm going to be voyeurizing her all night from a distance. So he's probably sitting in his toilet, whispering and lurking, as if we've got some sort of agreement. If I decide to go out, he starts throwing a tantrum. People in that flat have to calm him down. Or he might call a cop to prove something, or be demonstrating something. This guy is so disgusting. I decided to take a video. I'm still looking for the UK anti-terror team to tag them. Because reporting just online, the results are not fast enough. I can't be waiting for an investigation that lasts a year. Apparently, that's the aim of the police in Romford. A year of going through such violations. Why is he awake at this time? Has he not been prescribed some sort of sedation? Why can't they calm him down? Why is he being allowed to be such an evil man? Don't they have medication for this sort of psychopathic behavior? What is this? I really don't know who needs to take control of this situation. I read on terrorism activities that should be reported. Criminal activity that is classified as terror. Every bullet point was a tick for Subir's behavior. I kid you not, every bullet point. I had to screenshot it and report it via the government website. Every bullet point pointed out that he's right. He said, I'm a radicalist, not a Muslim. Every bullet point that was listed there actually confirmed his confession that yes, he should be attended to as a terrorist in the United Kingdom. This video is not just story. And sorry, I see you greeting me, but this is a very serious video. If you can find out where the terrorist links are, you can download this video, share it with the police. It's quite urgent. This man is at Flat 4 Oak House, Cotton's Approach, RM77LN. I would not normally disclose anyone's location, but this guy is a terrorist. According to the government laws of England, he is a terrorist and should be apprehended for all our safety, not just mine. But right now, I'm so disgusted. Why is someone tiptoeing and whispering? I was just about to go and have a shower. Please, please do. Flat 4 Oak House, Cotton's Approach, Romford. The postcode is RM7LN. So that's Romeo Mike 7, 7 Lima November. That's his. Sometimes he does a runner when he thinks the police are coming. Or sometimes he'll refuse to go out. If I decide to do anything else, no, I don't live with him. He lives next door. If I decide to do something else, this guy will throw a tantrum. Like there's a Thursday night. I just decided, oh, let me go and check if there's a program where I wanted to go. The people who used to live there, now I don't hear. And they started laughing at him. Do you know the thing they were laughing at? It's actually quite terrifying. He was going to test out his terror things to see if he can actually kill me. So suddenly, I tried to ignore them and I went to bed. Because sometimes reporting to the police doesn't really do anything. They'll come here, check on me. And then sometimes they'll come back, take a statement. Sometimes they're already frustrated. They come with so much aggression. I don't do well with people who are violent, people who are already worked up. I don't do well with that at all. So come to my property and you do that. Even if I've reported, I will forfeit the moment, please. I will just say, please, no, you can go. Because it's so simple. You've got the address of the person who's violating, who's being intimidating, who's threatening. They want to rape me. They want to voyeurize me all night. They've threatened their criminal partner. If you take the advice of going somewhere, I could say the same about you. If you don't know how things are happening, if you don't know how things are progressing in life, it's up to you. Your name looks a bit Asian. Do you know he doesn't care? Apparently he killed people in that Indian Airways. Doctors, whether they stood up to him or they had cooperated with him before and he wanted to get rid of the evidence. He laughed about it. He forgot that his guests were Indians. A few days ago, they revealed some of the Indians he had invited in there, revealed that you could say maybe I'm mad for going against a terrorist, but I have no choice. I live next door to him. There is no way you just ignore such things. So apparently he blew up the plane to get rid of evidence. Doctors, who doesn't need a doctor in your life? This guy has the audacity and he cannot retain the information that he has. He's often forgetting what he's just lied to other professionals about. No, the other day I actually got so angry. I told him, no, step outside. Let me see. But I would have tuned myself to deal with the psychopath. Right now I'm just disgusted. All I'm doing is praying to contain myself. I'm not going to fight this guy. Gonorrhea and whatnot, whatever he's got. Spill it on me. No. Now that I found the anti-terrorism links in the information, best sound, I didn't understand that. Now that I found the information about terrorism and what crimes can be reported as terrorist activities, and he's ticking every box, can only look forward to them arriving quickly. Because when I've reported to the police, even he expects it because he works in security. So with some training, he probably knows that what he's doing, they should really just be addressing him. So what did he do? He started advising his criminal partner, right? When they come, you have to act up and be taken away so that I remain here and deal with this woman. Still threatening me. And I was in a call with emergency services. The audacity this guy has. He's not even thinking. Sometimes his phone calls are on such high volumes. He's not even thinking about what he's saying, what people are hearing around. He's that brave. Already dumb. I really can't explain why the police have not apprehended this guy. Even be just suspicious or start to think about how is it happening. I don't have to investigate the rest. He's already confessed his bits. But when he starts threatening to rape me, no. I'm not mad. I will not let someone just be fight for myself. I bought gloves. If I ever have to interact, I will fetch my gloves first. Because this is not a joke. Someone who boasts of spreading sexual health diseases. And you work for the NHS. No. I'll take care of myself. If I have time to wear them, I will fight for my life. No one's just going to threaten to rape me and put gonorrhea in my life. See, I've already come down. Now I don't need to call the police. I'm fine. What's your name? Shirazi, are you still logged in? Did I understand what you just said? Are you answered? Are your feelings correct? How are you feeling? Alright then. The comments are not coming as fast anymore. Let's see. Okay, please like, share, subscribe for me, but share also with anti-terrorism tag. Spread the news. I think that's all we can do as people on earth. That's all we can do until the investigation and what not happens. It's so disgusting. I was going to take a shower. As soon as I hang all this up, I was going to take a shower. Now I have to wait until this fool comes down. Or just moves away from the bathroom because it's after 3. Someone cannot rest in your own property, your own space. He just has to put his audio somewhere and act as if he lives here. Why should someone have such noise pollution intruding? Apparently, he actually boasts that he bugged my flat. This mirror here. When I don't have my contact lenses or glasses, he'll be saying that he can see things clearly. What kind of craziness is that? Me, I'll be looking around for my glasses. Times. Apparently, people can see clearly. What people? Who is his? Yeah, it's not right at all. It's not right at all. Who is his audience? Who is he telling things like that? So there's a whole fear of flight thing going on. I decided I'm not running from my property. If I have to, I will stand up to him. But right here, yes, it actually frightened me. I walked out. I still want to shower. But now I can't take my clothes off in here. This guy is a total violation of humanity. He's actually whispering in there. Dang. And the bad news that I'm giving him up. His name is Zubir. Zubir. If you go on Anonymous Crime Stoppers in the United Kingdom and report, you can report it under attempted rape, threats of rape. You can make £1,000. I need money too. If you like, you can share it with me. That email is my PayPal ID. But you'll make £1,000. Keep your logins and stuff. I'd stopped sharing that sort of thing. But why not? Might as well make money while we're waiting for investigators to do something. Honestly, once I found the anti-terrorist link, I was really looking forward for an arrest to happen. Like ASAP. I don't know how this can't drag on forever. At this point, I can't deny that I wasn't fearful because I actually walked out of my shower room and closed the door. I'm so disgusted. So disgusted. You can't just up and leave as if I've got somewhere else to go. And even if I had somewhere else to go, you don't just up and leave your property because there's a bully next door. Or you mean as in, I'm angry? But we're not going as far as his level of psychopathy. No. Let me hang my clothes. I'm tired. If I keep talking, I'll be nurturing his energy. I'm tired and disgusted. There's a whole video I actually posted. This guy apparently, he knows he can't have me. Whether it's because of his previous job, where he was told to be posted in that property against me being with anyone in this property. Imagine, that's where it starts. That's where it starts. In 2023, he was called off that, apparently. This is all stuff they've been discussing in that flat recently. It is quite terrifying. Last year, I was a total mess. He would be crashing into the walls, open the shower tap, crashing into the walls, like throwing tantrums. You know how UK walls can be so thin and someone can hear you through the wall? Go to wash dishes. They'll be crashing in through the wall there. Walk out of this door. Try and get your post. Suddenly someone just comes out of his flat, ambushes you. Ah! No. This guy's not okay. It's not okay. You can't be living with someone like this in the community. I left the flat for quite a few months. I was still traumatized when I got there, when I got somewhere else. I decided, no, I'm not going to be living again. Apparently, they're expecting it again. Because the year before, I ran away again. And I decided, okay, let me just say to my brain, I'm going there to be doing my laundry. You see, I'm doing laundry now. The coincidence. I did that for 2023, eventually. This guy had meddled with my sexual health results. And I could not Oh, and I lost a very good relationship because I had to disclose to my partner. And then we broke up. Maybe about a week later, my results were corrected. But the guy was gone. I think they had already been called off whatever criminal activity it was to break me up with anyone or to stop me meeting anyone. So for 2 years, what I was doing was going to work and things were just not working out relationship-wise. There was just not even a sign, not even a cloud in the sky. Eventually, I met someone and then they were told to stop. This has been the discussion in their flat in the last week or so, discussing these things. So yeah, that's where it comes from. Okay, let me try and take care of myself right now because I'm so tired. I really needed to shower so I can be comfortable to rest. It's not okay to have to do live videos to share with strangers. It's not okay. I'm quite a discreet person, but I do understand to some extent this guy has made my life public. Sometimes I'm not always conscious of that. But I think these videos and stuff are my vindication. Because if I respond in any way similar to how he crashes into the wall, he somehow has people on his payroll to twist all this information to make sure I apparently arrested. No deportation for someone like me because I have my paperwork. But apparently this is the rhetoric that I have in my neighborhood. Can you imagine living a life where you walk around and people are checking you for violence? They're assessing you to see if you're going to be violent. For me, as a trained person, antisocial behavior. Once someone starts approaching you like that, you have to be quite careful. Because they themselves could be violent. They themselves could just be trying to trigger you to cover themselves up. Ooh, I need to iron. Tonight I was just doing my late domestic stuff. Probably going to have a light in. Being organized. Gone a bit over time. I'm doing my applications and stuff. Life. That's so black. Me? What's so black? Oh, and I moved my camera. What was that? As trying to find a way of making a move, making sure my bestie comes back to England. At least I have one person who's on my side. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Just decided if I take the camera off, it won't keep my mind off this. I'm not going to have police officers coming into my flat at this hour. This guy's doing it every day. You know, he's actually trying to trigger me to be violent. Because the other morning, I actually stepped out after him. I couldn't catch up, but he came running back. Apparently someone threatened him outside, and he came running back. About maybe a month and a half ago, someone in this block actually came downstairs and knocked at the door and told him off, like, nope. Oh, that's a nice thought, yeah. Sorting it out. Can't do it without your help. Need to report whatever you can find. Whatever you can remember, please. If you go onto Metropolitan Police or any police website, if you find where you report harassment, anti-terrorism, I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere. I can't actually tell you how I found it. But yeah, or just Google it, anti-terrorism. You'll find it. Then you can report it. But okay, Carush is having a problem with this man. I think it will go a long way. If you want to do it via anonymous Crime Stoppers, then you cover your identity and that, I guess, yeah. Because when you do it with the logins, they totally give you an unidentifiable login. So I really wouldn't want to post a picture of the guy. He's basically Asian, has a bit of a beard, a bob, about 1.8 meters high. Is that about 6 feet or something? I don't know. I'm better with metrics. I don't know the other measurements. It looks a bit heavy. I wouldn't say masculine, but heavy-ish. I don't know what else to say. And I don't like him. So that's all I know. And has a little black car. That's the sort of information you'll be asked. If you don't know, you don't know. You just say flat for Oak House. That's the easiest way to remember. So this is not defamatory information. Whereas for him, he was doing that a lot to me, especially last year, misrepresenting me and everything, telling people I was part of his household. I'm their child. So has my CV and found out that, yes, I used to do child minding for my family and friends, for people in my community and stuff. I started using so much information about me until they got to a level where they were personalizing that information as if they were me and trying to replace me and stuff. It's just like, and now he's doing it the other way around. So anytime he expects that he's revealed that he's going to be arrested, he starts trying to find a way to twist it on me. So there's this whole thing about calling me a prostitute because I'm trying to get into relationships, because he found out I'm a Christian. I'm from a Christian background, even though I'm quite respectful of all faiths. So started defaming me that you're a Christian and you go on dates and whatnot, just being so judgmental and calling me a prostitute and that. Apparently that's what his criminal partner does, although at first they lied to me that they're a couple. The very unfortunate part is that after all those years, starting to propose marriage to me. I can't take it. It's so disgusting. I shouted one day until I lost my voice. I said, no, I can't be doing this anymore. So I made a video to make it clear. So lately, there've not been any proposals. Thank God. Proposals to Carush. Oh my. No. I think we should end this video here. I am actually ready to get into another relationship because I was married briefly. By the time my birthday came around, I thought there was no more marriage. So I was already open-minded. But the guy rang me to say, look, like, he was already moving on. Like, I'd already called him and he was in a car with someone else. Apparently, this hacker, he's got his number. He listens into his calls. He was already buying someone else a car. He already accommodated somebody else. This guy, fast mover. I didn't realize, but you know when you have a sixth sense that I don't think there's anything left. So, yeah, I accommodated someone. I was very open-minded that, okay, maybe, who knows? But the minute that guy broke things off, after my birthday, he invited me. I said, okay, let me go. I sort of hinted that, since you were, I also, but it didn't seem like an issue. This guy tried to call the cops on me to say I was stalking him. How do you drive almost more than an hour? You go there, start planning a lunch. Long story short, Zubia's girlfriend went after my ex-husband that same day. So me, I'm cooking. They're on the phone. This girl apparently blames her ex-husband for being in an abusive relationship. You see, this is abuse corner. Flat 4. Abuse. So this girl, a mental health nurse. Nurse is supposed to be empathetic, caring, confident to help other people. Things like that. The 6 C's. Courageous to help other people. But what she do? Advise my husband. Try and beat her up and see how she reacts. Otherwise, me, I'm here for you. I think that's what your problem is. I think you've got a problem with anger. I said, huh? When I started hearing about it, that's when I was like, what? Because when I was with him, it was not like that. But that day, she totally infected him. Yeah. This guy suddenly became a terror. I was so scared. I was so tired too. Why did me? I was like, I promise you, I will change my name. Please, I beg you, don't do anything like this. Won't be good. I was going to beat me up. What if he had beat me to death? Can you see this face? You'd not be seeing these videos. Okay, I said this is a serious video. I just stretched a bit. It's still serious. That's still a serious part. This guy and his abusive people actually flipped my husband. I don't know him like that. Sorry, my ex-husband. So, moving on. I got engaged after that. So when I came back, let's do some. I was leaving. So no, there was trouble. Even got the cops on me. I couldn't come back straight away because my car had broken down. Imagine, you're in such conditions and your husband decides he's going to treat you that way. You're stranded. Just leave. Your phone battery's gone. Your car, you can't open it. Electric's gone. It was a hired car. I had to wait, find somewhere to charge the phone. You know the guy who helped me? He was living next door to my ex-husband. There's nothing we could do about it. I had to go in and charge my phone. Thank goodness he was understanding. Guess what barges into the flat? The ex-husband comes in all throwing a tantrum. This girl must live here. She doesn't belong here. This is your flat. Hello, mister. I had to stand up for the man. He was like, no, sir, I don't want any trouble. He was such a gentleman. He tried to say, I don't want it. But I realized this guy is going to bully us. I need to charge my phone. I need to get that car moving. Unfortunately, I had to be there because they had such a backlog. The people, they were like, I'm sorry, it's going to be like 4 a.m. before someone can come out to you. It seems like a very busy weekend. So we're there. While this guy was throwing tantrums. Around 1 a.m., the police come to check if I'm in his property. He had reported me that I was something like a stalker, denying who he is. How can you start denying someone after marrying someone? No matter how it came about, how do you start denying who you are? This guy falsely reported to the police. Anyway, long story short, we're not anything anymore. When I came back to Romford area, it wasn't long before I got engaged. Life goes on. We're at a different stage now. I waited such a long time for an apology. It didn't come. Eventually, someone saw good in me. She was like, this woman. I got engaged. Getting drenched. Life happens anyway. We're not together anymore with that guy. Life happens. What can I say? I can't say much about that situation. It was a good situation, but hey, a lot was. So I can't say much. I can't knock that man, but I can, but I refuse. Right now, no. But don't worry. Moving on. Moving on. So thank you for staying with me while I do my domestics here. What are you guys up to? What time zones are you in? How come you're still awake? Are you waking up to pray? You've put prayer signs. Maybe you're waking up to pray. Or you're just having fun. Or you're at work. Are you on night shifts? I'm not doing rituals, it's almost Halloween. Life car. When you meet people who are supposed to be in a different situation, being corrected to be in society, and then you find they're just here, deteriorating, becoming worse. Because this man was not like this before. Now I'm finding out, and he's confessing a lot of things, discussing a lot of things in that flat. Yeah? But in 2002, let's see, when did I come here? 2020. So around the end of 2020, the first time I saw him, apparently he was sneaking into the flat. Circumstances about their relationship, I don't want to talk about it. There's so much lies in between. But so they weren't married anyway. I don't really care. It's really not a thing to me. So he was sneaking into the flat. That one I can believe because I saw it with my own eyes. I just had a sixth sense, like be avoiding being outside at this time. But one day, unfortunately, I didn't come out. I didn't get off my patio too early. So that's when I first saw him. Maybe I'd already started sneaking, I don't know. But and then one time he walked across my patio. I actually asked him, please, could you walk around on the walk? I don't know why, but I can easily get claustrophobic, right? And then sometimes I'm actually okay with people being in my space. I don't know, maybe it was the energy. But I just thought, no, a distance, don't just walk around on my patio. Last year, do you know what they were doing? I was inviting so many people to walk across my patio. All this intimidation, encouraging people walk across that patio. I went out once just to get some air because it was just too much. I didn't know who to talk to, who to tell. Because I'd go out and people would be almost chanting at me. You can see people come out of their flats, stand outside to make sure I know they're actually talking to me. And they're like, oh, you're being offended that your mother is a witch. They're calling the woman he lives with my mother. How? We're almost like age mates. How is she my mother? Huh? And now here we are. Apparently I'm not the last bride. Now she's begging to me. He doesn't want to. He does shame. Oh my God. It's not good. It's not a good situation. Don't lie in your life, and then you start lying about other people. How can you say I'm your child? Why are you telling people and misrepresenting me? Now we're finding out that, okay, fine. If you're proud of your vocation as a prostitute, fine. Don't say that I'm one of them. If you people know that these guys are a gang, please don't include me just because they were defaming me. I'm not part of their gang. I've never agreed with their lifestyle. Now some women who were living there, we were just finding out, okay, they moved in there and they're just being used as a swinging sexual ring kind of thing. And I think many people have been lured into that flat to kind of show off that they can access that It's not a price. So I don't know. For some people, maybe so muscle or whatnot. I don't care. Brain matters. How someone can be mentally as a woman. Because I see the way this guy treats women who go through there. Even men. There's a young man who lives there. He was crying the other time when you found out what it means to have been sleeping around in there. Do you know what Zubia done? He went and bought a car. No, it's my turn now to be saying all these things. They've been saying a lot of things about me in this community. I was so intimidated. I could not, they were hacking my phone, playing around with my screen. I could not even call the police. Eventually, I was not even thinking about calling the police. One time when I actually called the police because I found a bunch of keys outside there, our bin storage area, you could not access it. They go and lock themselves in there. When you go and try and open the door, you can't open the door. Even if you have the code, you can't open it. More than 2-3 weeks, bins were not collected. It's not like Christmas holiday. So many rumors about weird things going on around here. I called the police just to hand those keys in. Because there's no way I could have just walked to the police station. By the time they came here, so much had happened. I forgot about the keys. What did they start checking? I think by then I got unwell. Little did I know these people can play around with temperature, thermostats, make you freeze, make you burn. Hey. So last year I kept my mouth shut. I could not explain things anymore. I kept my head down. I kept my mouth shut. I came back in the summer. I was coming back here and there to check on my property. I went through a lot. The intimidation, I was forgetting some information. I decided, no, I'm going to put those keys back. I'm not going to get involved for now. Let me sit back and see what's happening. When I came back, new people in this neighborhood were starting to confess. There's been many weird things happening. People were not having confidence to go into communal grounds or even to walk down through this corridor. I said, what is it to me? Well, some people saying you better stay here so that we can be more confident to be going in and out. I thought, so now people are saying things. But then, another time, I tried to go and just confirm with someone that I own my property. Then I bumped into the police. When I put my head out, trying to go and see if my boyfriend may have surprised me. Into the police. Apparently someone had already called them to complain that I had gone to knock someone's door. When I went to that person's door, I spoke to them recently, they never complained about anything. Apparently this house here had called the police to say, please put her back in the property, lock her in there. She's our child or something. Same guy who's going to lie to the imam to say that I'm his wife. Why do you think you should misrepresent me like this? By the time the police had come, I already felt ambushed. I was already thinking, what's going on? So they came, walked through my flat, opened my cupboards. I don't know what they were looking for. Could I even remember to tell them that, no, I actually have my paperwork for my flat. I'm trying to have someone just confirm that this is my land registry, but I can't find the certificate copy. I forgot all that. Well, sometimes in the moment, after all the intimidation, I couldn't go and confirm it with anyone during the day. I was so scared. By the time I saw one of the neighbors' lights on, that's when I went. I'm so sorry. I know it's the time, but please can you confirm? I don't know. Maybe they went to sleep right away. Maybe they just put the light on to go to the toilet and go to sleep. I was coming back anyway. Actually, I need to find out something about that night. I've actually just remembered something. There's a cop who's been manipulated from that night. There's something not quite right about that night. They've been confessing now that they called the cops to make sure that I just be left in my flat. They could be defaming those cops too. But now, because something else is going on, okay, I could be thrown under the bus. So I don't know. After the occasion where I was trying to get the keys back, there were storms in the area. My property was so affected. So affected. What I didn't know was that these people can worsen the temperatures in this flat. Of course, winters are terrible here. But that weather really was not good for me. I've said a lot. I didn't know there's a whole terrorist movement against me. A whole terrorist movement against me. I kept my head down. And now these guys are now confessing. He acts like a pimp towards his criminal partner. I thought it was his wife. I just refused to be used. Apparently this guy was thinking that marriage to me would cover up all his criminal activity. I refused. I was so intimidated. Things were so weird. I didn't understand what was going on at all. It was so confusing. I won't lie. So confusing. I didn't want to say much. You can't always talk to the authorities about things you don't understand. But when someone starts confessing, let them go and actually say what's happening. Because, who am I? Am I doing it? Am I part of it? I'm not part of it. So there's no way I can be the one to chit-chat with the cops over everything all the time. I can't do it. I can't be the one who's explaining things. That, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's like this, it's like that. I don't know. Some young people might know how to use simulation technology and all that. Develop technology, 5G networks and what. I don't have to explain anything. But once someone starts boasting about by the time this girl was rejected and shamed for wanting to be married to him, I told her, run, go to the police with whatever you have stolen from my flat. Say it's lost and found property. Find a way of them giving you some sort of grace so that you can come out of it. Go and tell them this is how I can be rehabilitated. I gave her the idea. The next day, they were talking about it in there. She can't leave. The women in there. She can't leave because he's threatened he's going to kill her from a distance. The same way that he violates me. He won't be in my flat. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. See how I've just done that? That's how I'm getting through it. Crashing into walls doesn't help. I can't act like a criminal. Because somehow he's twisted my activities, my responses. For police people to actually be convinced that when they come here, they should check me first for violence. Such a criminal. Can you imagine? I'm dealing with such a criminal. One person. I'm not a terrorist group, anti-terrorist group. One person. If I decide I'm going to church, oh, that's a whole other level of tantrums. Do you know what I found out the other day? Oh, it's all right. I'm telling you already. I'm fine. This is just repetition, by the way. That's what I found out the other day. The other people were living in there decided to connect to someone who does witchcraft in there to stop the guy, because they found out that because of the hackings probably and the writings that they found out, my secret writings, he seems to be swaying towards Christianity. So the girl he's with somehow connected the people, and they made sure he kept up the pretense of being a Muslim. So I think he's turned up his extremism and attacks on me as probably like his, what can I say? You know, when you're really trying not to show, okay, let's say, sorry, but I think this is a good example. You know, when someone is resisting to come out of the closet, so like maybe you're gay or lesbian, and you're really trying to show everybody that you're straight. If you end up beating someone up because you don't agree with where you are, because you're really trying to resist who you are trying to come out to be, I think that's what he did. He decided to fight that level. I mean, I've heard of stories of people who have been found on their knees praying with a Bible next to them in their private spaces, but the whole community knew they were Muslims. It's not an alien concept at all. There have been Christians who turned to Islam. It's not an alien concept at all. You got it. Okay. So, see, unfortunately, this guy has taken it to the extreme. He's not actually Muslim, as he confessed, rightly so. Because I actually had to go and take refuge at the mosque last year. The way I was brutalized, I cannot explain it. I cannot explain it. I was brutalized so badly. I went to seek refuge to them at the mosque. The very thing that I found out as soon as I got there. He came way after the prayers, only to come and lie to the imam. The imam is like the priest in the mosque, right? And he comes to say, this is my wife. I didn't hear the rest of the conversation he was having in there because people were laughing. People were now laughing at him that how can you go and lie that this is your wife when we're already trying to remind you that this cannot be because he's not interested. So, may I not have the courage to go and lie to a pastor. I could not do it because these people somehow, they've got that discernment, you know. They can shame more. I don't know what happened with the rest of the conversation. I didn't hear the rest of it because they were laughing so hard. The defamation. Apparently, all this criminal activity lately, it seems to have been trying to shrink me into a place where I end up arrested, triggering violence, a violent response because he's not getting it. When I say stop, he's not getting it. When I say no, he doesn't get it. That's all I can suggest. The only other thing I've suggested is the same thing I suggested to the woman. Go and give my things in. Go and hand the things in that you're stolen from my flat. I had to change my locks. So that's all I've suggested. And then obviously rubbish is it. Like, say, I'm doing all these things to you because you were too nice to us. Being a good neighbor. Don't get me wrong. This is a very extreme response to kindness. there may be something in the background that made him and her candidates for such a warfare kind of level against one person, getting into relationships, for people to eventually agree that they're a married couple when they are not, agree that they own the property when they do not, and then eventually start discussing. Like recently, before I changed my locks, they had stolen my bank statements, which are reflective of the way I was paying rent in this property. I had to order new copies to be sent to me. It's good that someone else is noticing, because honestly, and today there was what was it? Today there was discussion of how they got into the flat. That actually the access was given to the woman, but he eventually took over the flat. And in taking over, actually settled to get a job and whatnot. So it seems as if he's the one in charge now when the woman was given access. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a good idea to unite with a criminal. If they take over, have you heard of the story of a camel who was let into a tent because it was hot? Eventually, the second hump went in, and then the whole body of the camel, and the person had to be kicked out because there's no space in the tent. Since 2023, I remember they've been discussing leaving the flat. I just thought it was a bit weird that they were discussing exchanging sexual partners. I didn't really get into it unless they started discussing me and my partner. That's when I started thinking, where does my flat start coming into your discussions? How do you start allocating me to go to someone else's flat in the block and separating me from my partner? Whole plans to isolate me. And I would work hard to protect my relationship, because since they ruined my first one with the whole fake results, sexual health results. No, these guys are criminals on a different level. At first, it wasn't this bad, but 2023 hit, and my goodness, 2024 was horrific. Totally horrific. Obviously, they're like graduating levels. A whole terrorist activity. And now 2025 October, I had never thought of it like that. That this is a whole terrorist movement against me. Just because I want to get married, I want to get into a settled relationship. I actually got married. Yes, he is. He is. He is a swinger. And unfortunately, there are repercussions. Oh. The very thing, you see now, the karma of it. Having convinced some other NHS workers to interfere with my results. So, chlamydia is something that shows that you're not fertile. It totally messes up. But that got corrected. And thank goodness. With my partner, I even showed him a positive pregnancy test. Thank goodness. I'm a big girl now, so, thank goodness. Did tests and things. Even went to get checked out by a doctor after, and so on and so on. So, thank goodness. I'm still okay. The future is bright. But I'm living next door to a terrorist hacker. The levels. Fraudster. This guy totally almost shut down 2 of my bank accounts. The work I have to do to retrieve these 2 accounts. I've started on one of them. Once I retrieve the money, maybe then I can deposit something into the other one to revive it, because goodness gracious. You wouldn't believe it. But at least he's been confessing. Anything I've reported to the police, Thank goodness I'm not defaming someone. It's his words. It's their words, their discussions. The unfortunate part is how they've already set it up. How they've already set up their strategies to get me arrested. Apparently, he wanted to actually get to a level where he's going to come and rescue me from the police station. So that if I have lost my property, I will be going to live in that one, which he doesn't own. And what's my future with someone who's got sexual health diseases that are anti-fertility? No. However, even without that, having been treated so inhumanely, I wouldn't consider, I would not even recommend. I used to set people up. If I didn't express it to you, it would just be in my mind. And I'd just be wishing, I think these people will be okay together. But this man I cannot recommend for anything. My steamer. My steamer's still popping. It's a terrible situation. The most heartbreaking thing is children being involved in that property. I think they've run away. I think the mother and the children have run away. He probably calls them from time to time. But I think they've now run away. It's terrible. Because obviously there's a level of grooming those children. Last week or two, the father was calling them and saying like, no, you need to now leave and stuff. So I think that's finally been done. Maybe they've saved their children from like a whole lifetime experience of juvie and that. Maybe they'll recover from the experience of almost a year living there. Because they were totally tiny, tiny tots last year. They used to actually cry at the thought of me being married to somebody else because they thought I was going to be taken away. Can you imagine? So what had they been told? They actually thought maybe they might come in here or something. There was even discussion of, or if they get arrested, maybe I'll be checking in on the children in there. Children can be so innocent, but they can also be groomed to be very vile. So I had to be quite careful with them. Because a few times, that would be a guy who would instruct them. Maybe the mother wasn't even there. Instruct them to be jumping into my flat. Or kicking the ball onto my patio. Eventually, they kick the ball into my flat. Like I said, I was a childminder. I had to be firm. The next time they threw paper aeroplanes, the kid ran away laughing. He knew, oh no, I've messed up. Doesn't Zubair stand there? He came out now. I'm starting to try and ask, oh, what is it? Close my door. I was like, no. The kids I can talk to. Because they can correct their behavior. This grown man wants to now start, oh, what's the problem? No, I'll close my door. So no, not today, Satan. Pomala. That means go away. No. This guy doesn't understand. The first time I actually saw him this year, throwing a tantrum, trying to make me leave my property. Do you know what the rationale was? So that he breaks into my flat. That night, I don't know what he wanted to take. Let me show you something. But I did discover after. It was left after they took my green top, sportswear. Such criminals decide, okay, to nick some of my stuff. And they left a piece of chewing gum in the suitcase where my stuff was. went into my storage area, took away some cosmetic stuff. In that corner, I think this is probably on different occasions, my stilettos were missing. I ordered a nice brown pair of stilettos. I don't normally wear stilettos like that, but they look pang. They started talking about it. Finally! Yes! I've been saying this. That this guy's got some sort of psychopathy because, no, this is not normal. How can he harbor such hate? When I came back to the flat, I found that I had missing linen. New pack of linen, gone. Halo light bulbs, gone. He's capable of terrible violence, this guy. Something that I didn't want to say, but because he's been, because he's been threatening to rape me lately. He actually apologized to his son once. Apparently, he had been so violent that he apologized to his son that after almost sexually assaulting him, the only way I could rationalize it was I think he had been caught. Otherwise, today we'll be talking a different story. He must have been caught. Someone must have walked in for him to then apologize that, oh, I'm sorry, son. I thought you were someone else's child. What kind of apology is this? How can you get that violent that you want to assault sexually as? Do you know what I mean? Because you would have bumped his son, isn't it? Else's child. You're not thinking straight. That's not a. I mean, even for a pretender, you really have not thought through what you're doing. Or maybe you've been thinking about it, but you never thought you would be caught. So you haven't thought about the actual excuse. Because sometimes, I mean, if I was hearing the excuses for someone else, I think I would report, but I might laugh because honestly, these women, they laugh sometimes. But then when they are all out on their own, that's how I discovered, oh, so it's a swingers club. So you know how you, yes. One of them was walking outside and was like, she just looked really sunken. I was like, I can't believe I'm in a swingers club being used like this. It's possible that's the same person who actually offers herself sexually to say, please, don't voyeurize that woman. So in that flat, they know what's happening to me at a distance. It's disgusting. It's horrific. The good thing for me is I am not giving up on my dreams to move on at all. This thing has decided to stop me from being with anybody else, from being with friends. Ugh, yuck. So something's just happened to me. Some people know on cue before it happens. It's disgusting. There's a disgusting version. There's painful version. There's brutality. There's, let's see, what is it? What he describes to people, which became escalated into a death threat. I'm not sure what happened. Did I actually shout at him or I just kept quiet? I was in shock because it has been expressed earlier in the day. I think around 7 p.m. I just thought, I think there's a service. Let me dash. And the women in there started laughing. Oh my God, he was absolutely going to kill you today. I ignored it. When I came back, I went about my business. I still ignored it. They were still talking about it. Little did I know that's how they're warning me. Because they were laughing and things, I just thought, you know what, I'm not even going to let this get to me. It must have been between 3 and 4 a.m. when I woke up as if I was wrapped up in an electric blanket. And it had totally gone, it was totally increasing to like unimaginable degrees. I was suddenly in a sauna. It reminded me of, was it 2023 or 2024? One morning I just woke up from an explosion like over my eye. Later that day when I looked in the mirror, you just go about your business, try and wash it. They were probably crashing into the walls. So I didn't have the time to like check myself out. My eyebrow was missing by the time I checked. So they had actually done something. And they can do it at a distance. Same guy who then confessed to his Indian flatmates that he blew up the plane, Indian Airways, with one survivor. After that, last week, one of the Indian men came and said, I think he called him and said, well, yeah, we had to make sure that you wouldn't turn Christian. We have to make sure you're going to hell. Ah, do you know when you're evil, and then you also attract evil? You also attract. There's a writing scripture that says, you live by this word, you die by this word. So you totally created the situation where people will take the blame for their activities, right? I even asked that man who said that to him, that are you like his advisor, an elder in the community? That night I was telling him, please don't advise this guy to come and knock my door to propose marriage. It's impossible. There's no way someone who treats me inhumanely like this can actually try and cover up and propose marriage to me. The next morning, he filled up a van and left. So the following week, this is now like last week into the weekend, where he called and was saying, well, yeah, we had to do something. We heard that you were possibly becoming Christian. So we made sure you remained in your cover. And in 2025, he blows his cover and says, I'm actually not a Muslim, I'm a radicalist. By this time, he's already lured so many Christians by hacking me. People I used to know too, and people I don't know. He's lured them through those doors to give him advice. Maybe people thought eventually we'll get him to become Christian. Hey, it takes no passengers, you know. He'll defame anyone, kill anyone if he has to. So I'm so grateful that I found this anti-terrorist link. But I'm not going to be reporting much more because I actually just followed that website thing. It was quite helpful. Screenshots and whatnot of whoever he is. And that's it. I'm just going to leave it. Ooh, an hour 50. All right. So that means it's what time? 4:40. So I need to rest. on quiet, but can't risk. Oh, there we go. Still whispering. Do you know what? That is a foolish threat, and that's why I would stand up to you and still shout. This is not your flat. You don't live with me. You do not pay or contribute anything. You have never done. I'm not your property. And that's why more people will be standing up to you. Okay, guys, I need to make up my bed. I would encourage anyone, once you get bullied, stand up to your bully. Don't let it take its course. Granted, I did not know the extent, but since summer, they've confessed so much that they've been here since 2020, living right next door. To stop me from getting married. And I got married. What happened, but I did get married. But I'm already ready to move on. Within a month, they'd already made a mess of my situation. So intentional against my marriage and having children. Other events, oh, goodness gracious. I meet some nice people, but unfortunately, like, sometimes, I don't know, 2025, I think people are offering poo coated in gold. So you can easily be deceived. So, like, be careful with the fork when you start to check. I can't say much. Anyway, may all our dreams come true. May the anti-terrorist teams do something to save us all, because dang, no. Zubia is so wicked. I understand the witch he lives in with, but Zubia has just gone out of hand. He's actually developing into a very vicious. Is YouTube totally? No, sorry. Okay, well, I've put the phone on charger now. The thing is, the audio might not be as great once I put the charger in. I'm so tired. I'm gonna make it. Good night. Thanks for listening. See, I knew I wasn't the only one getting this. Alrighty. Good night. Good morning.